of the land grant system, UCR provides for the education of the people. The land grant system, brought into existence by the signature of President Abraham Lincoln on the Morrill Act of 1862, has for almost 150 years provided access to those who could not afford the expense of private colleges and universities. Today, public education is under attack, and we, the people, must be vigilant. As the class of 2011 leaves UCR and commences to take their positions of leadership in our society, I urge you, one and all, to be cognizant of the value to our society of the land-grant university system that has benefited our nation for 1.5 centuries. And now to our celebration. Dr. Timothy P. White is the 8th Chancellor of UC Riverside. Under his leadership, the campus has grown to more than 20,000 students, and both the institution and its faculty have increased in stature and excellence. Chancellor White was born in Argentina and moved to California as a teenager, and is in every way a product of the California education system and a role model for our students. He was the first in his family to attend college. He moved from community college to the state university system, where he completed his bachelor's degree and a master's degree. He received his PhD from UC Berkeley and conducted postdoctoral research at the University of Michigan School of Medicine. During his academic career, he was recognized internationally for his work in muscle plasticity, injury, and aging. Since arriving in Riverside in 2008, he has become a familiar face on campus and an integral part of the larger community, where he has worked to improve the overall educational level of the region. His community activities have attracted the attention of the White House Initiative on Educational Excellence for Hispanic Americans, which has selected the inland area as one of the few regions to develop a strategy to improve educational outcomes through community partnerships. Chancellor White has also brought to fruition plans for a UC Riverside School of Medicine, which will open its doors to students in fall 2012. Last month, Chancellor White became the first person in history of the UC system to receive an award from the system-wide staff assemblies in recognition of his support of staff and his genuine interest in staff morale and welfare. Ladies and gentlemen, Chancellor White.
Welcome, class of 2011. I too bring greetings to our graduates from all of the faculty, the staff, the alumni, and your fellow students. And greetings also to the proud parents, and families, and friends that have gathered here this evening. I congratulate you and I share with you my hopes for greatness in your future. You know, as I think about where you are in life, graduates, while you do not know everything, you do know enough to conquer everything that lies in your path. Thank you. Also, you have within you the seeds of greatness as a person, as a professional, and as a leader that lifts up your community, lifts up our country, lifts up your family, and moves us all forward. And while we are all proud of the way we look from the outside, what matters is what you do from the inside. From the heart, from the soul, the mind, with integrity, strong work ethic, and a strong moral compass. You know, I was at a restaurant recently in San Francisco called Credo, which from your Latin you recall means I believe. And the walls of this Art Deco basement where I was having this meal were replete with the sayings of a lot of interesting people, the famous and the infamous. The sayings range from the profound to the egomaniacal, from the humorous to the eclectic. And so with the words of those who have walked before you on this twisting, surprising adventure that we call life, let me weave a very short story. Quote, I believe that dreams, Daydreams, with your eyes wide open and your brain machinery whizzing, are likely to lead to the betterment of the world. That comes to you from Frank Bowen, the author of Wizard of Oz. Somewhat interestingly to me, Richard Pryor comments, quote, "I believe the ability to think is blessed. If you can think about a situation, you can deal with it. The big struggle is to keep your head clear enough to think." And if you know Richard Pryor's troubles over time, you'd have to sort of pause on that one. He might have found some support from John Steinbeck, who said, I quote, "I believe that the free, exploring mind of the individual human is the most valuable thing in the world." Whereas Thomas Jefferson was more concerned about community service by saying, I quote, "I believe that every human mind feels pleasure in doing good to another." The Italian philosopher Umberto Eco says, somewhat dark, says, "I believe that you can reach the point where there is no longer any difference between developing the habit of pretending to believe and developing the habit of believing." And he might have enjoyed debating with the biochemist and science fiction writer Isaac Asimov, who would have fit very well in a CNAS classroom on this campus by saying, "I believe in evidence. I believe in observation, measurement, and reasoning by independent observers." But then he went on to say that I believe anything, no matter how wild and ridiculous, if there is evidence for it. Jack Nicholson cuts to the chase. The minute you're not learning, you're dead. Winston Churchill, with a modesty becoming of a Highlander, the modesty of a world leader, but the swagger I expect in each of you as a graduate of the University of California, Riverside, proclaims, "We are all worms, but I believe that I am a glowworm." So let me finish by saying, use sunscreen, floss most days of the year, and if all of this is too cerebral for you, Ron White's comments may help. I believe that if life gives you lemons, you should make lemonade, and try to find somebody whose life has given them vodka and have a party.
Thank you, Chancellor White. Now, I am pleased to introduce Dr. Mary Govain, Chair of UCR's Academic Senate.